One of the things that I'm involved in is applying creativity and trying to find creative ways of dealing with conflict, creative ways of dealing with societies coming out of conflict. And so as an artist, I kind of work with many communities and develop new ideas for ways of working in that area.
Because of the environment that Northern Ireland is, I find that art is the best way for me to raise issues. That's why I'm bold in making statements like I am a peace wall, rather than addressing the actual physical peace walls, because I believe that, art, you can have an intercultural dialogue where you can bring issues into surface without offending one side or the other or getting involved in the daily politics in Northern Ireland.
This is a long-term investment, but what is important in peace-building work is to have a vision of where you want to move to and a commitment that one tiny step at a time. A commitment to relationships is the most important, I feel. I think it's about creating space for communities to thrive and to believe in themselves in the light of what's gone down in the past.
We would work an awful lot in our organisation with books, people collecting their stories and expressing themselves that way, and collecting photographs and putting them together. And I just think it helps people build up their confidence. And then also if they work together as a community and they produce something they're really proud of, I've seen how much it can boost up a community to be able to present something to the world and the world to come and see it then and then to learn from that as well. And I think that's the key factor in it as well, confidence building.
The creativity enables one to see another way to get on with people and to see the similarities between each other.
It lets go of all your inhibitions, and the opinions that maybe you might have formulated, go when you're being creative.
If you're feeling quite good in yourself, then you make the next step, which is to extend towards other people. You use that imaginative awareness to get towards other people. And whenever you're beginning to imagine what it's like in another person's shoes, then you begin to be able to appreciate, well, I'm not going to be against that person, I'm going to be for that person or with that person, or I can tolerate a difference. So it's learning that toleration through creativity that's so important.
We're all really the same at the end of the day, so I think if we can do that through the arts and through being creative together, I think that's a really good way of doing it.
Basically it comes down, I think, as with so many conflicts, to education. If you understand the point of view of the other side, if you celebrate their difference as you would wish them to celebrate yours, you're sort of halfway there. But an awful lot of what still continues here, I think, is that people still don't have that understanding of the other situation, don't have that inclination to understand.
I think there's lots to be said for integrated education, which is not pursued, not supported, not funded nearly enough. It's not a magic bullet, but it is certainly a way that people grow up knowing people who are different, and that's a start.
It challenges you internally and externally. You're meeting different people, and especially in the kitchen, for example, you're working with people from different backgrounds, and you meet them in an informal way. It's not an immediate confrontation, but it's more of a working side by side, and through that slowly you become acquainted and familiar and comfortable, and your perceptions or your stereotypes that are there maybe initially get challenged.
We need to have integrated education on a much broader scale in Northern Ireland. I have been part of the integrated movement for the last 15 years, and it is the only way that we can inform anyone, parents, grandparents, and actually the children that go through integrated education, that we are all the same.
Integrated education is the solution, but it's not just the solution. If parents of the children who attend integrated schools don't practice integration themselves, the children will just go back to the same backgrounds they came from and schools are not just the solution, they're only part of the solution.
I'm just back from a day at Stormont with a group of women, a very mixed group from across the whole of Northern Ireland, coming together just as women to understand how they participate in democracy. And that whole thing about what their actual politics are is irrelevant, but it's about how do they use it, how do they understand the role, the responsibility they have to change, to make change happen for their own communities, for their own lives. And that's been a whole education process, because those women have felt so alienated from the system, from power, from actual being able to deliver something on the ground.
I think education also is an important part so that people can understand the ways in which our society just looks at the past. Be it the historical inquiries team is one way, inquiries is another, storytelling is another way communities can do it, so that we start to see the different ways in which our society has chosen to deal with the past and have a better understanding of those, so we can move forward in the future as a shared society, I suppose.
Our little local difficulties here are local, and in the greatest scheme of things, they have to be able to be resolved.
If we followed the teaching of do to others as they would do to you, then there would be love and peace.